Hey everybody, this is your Professor David Britt. Welcome to MSOM 601, Critical Thinking and Problem Solving. Um, I'm coming to you today from Arbor Hills Nature Preserve, which is about 5 minutes from my house here in Dallas/Plano, Texas. So it's a lovely fall day. I just wanted to go over some of the things in this class to give you an idea of what you got yourself into, right? Many of you, I'm sure, have had me in a class before, whether it was your first one or another class. And so you kind of know what I'm about. But just in case, I want to talk about this class in particular. I developed this course, oh gosh, now 3-4 years ago. Kind of adjusted, adapted. I always do that all the time as I read students' feedback and things change and those things. But I want to talk to you a little bit about this course and some of the motivation for designing it and developing it the way that I did, okay? And so the first question you may ask yourself is, why critical thinking and problem solving? Well, I mean, if you think about today, critical thinking, problem solving skills and techniques are in short supply. Well, why? Well, part of the reason is people have replaced the word thinking with comments. So they think about making critical comments, right? And so what's Facebook all about? Well, it's to blast your other people with their political views and to not agree with them, or it's to agree with them. And so the word thinking has been replaced by comments. And so this course is not about critical comments. It's about critical thinking. And so, yes, your brain will hurt at times in this course because I'm asking you to think and to develop opinions, not share opinions, but develop opinions yourself that are supported by research and other ideas. And so the key words there, critical thinking, right? And so the second part of this is problem solving. And that does not mean problem identification. We all can identify problems. We're really good at saying, this is a problem, this is a problem, this needs to be solved, this needs to be solved. But we are very challenged, if you will, on coming up with viable solutions. And so the word that we will use in this course is problem solving, not problem identification. And so we'll go through some exercises on how to use critical thinking to help solve problems, okay? The course layout on this one's going to be similar with a few differences to perhaps some other courses that you've had. First of all, the textbook in this course is really, really, really important. Now, I'm sure every professor is going to tell you that, but this time it's really true. If you do not read the textbook, I will know, and your grade will suffer. And the reason being is because there are so many critical thinking concepts that are included in this textbook that if you just fly over it, decide to skim it, you're going to miss out because it's just going to be that rich. And part of the reason on this one is sometimes textbooks and courses is all about can you quickly identify facts and things that are identified that you have to repeat in a paper or something else. Well, this is designed a little differently because you think about critical thinking, it's not just about fact transfer, but it's about getting you to think and apply some of the things that are being presented. And so you're going to notice this in a minute when I talk about the tests that are in the course. So do not hear me on this. Do not think you can just skim the textbook and get by with it in this course. I've developed lectures that are there that I pulled from the textbook as well. Each module is going to have a video that was developed by the authors of this textbook. There will also be what's called a sketch note video for each module, and that's simply a whiteboard. I would encourage you to make sure that you watch these because sometimes this is where you're going to be able to grasp very clearly the concepts that are being presented. These are tough concepts because honestly, if critical thinking was easy, everyone would do it, right? And so that's why I say your brain's going to hurt sometimes as you go through these and try and understand the different concepts. And then I'll supply supplemental material as we go through. You'll also note that there's a section on the left-hand margin, I don't know which direction it is off of this. The start here tab. And the Start Here tab we added for all of our courses so that you'll be able to go in there and utilize it to gain information in different sections. So there's a spot on making sure your browser is compatible. There's also a section on APA. There's a section on discussion boards, and section on the online library. So it's a good resource that you can have, even though you've already been in the program before, to just go back if you have questions about different things, and you'll be able to find a wealth of information in that section. The learning modules for this course, each week you're going to have a discussion forum. The first week you have 2 with a typical introduction, as well as a discussion board. What you're going to find in my participation, I will have a video, I think, in every discussion board talking about my thoughts on the topic that I posed. Now, you're not going to be able to see my comments until you make one. And I've had students before who send me an email and go, gee, I wished I would have seen your comments before I made mine. Well, no, because what happens is I want you to think critically about the topic, give me your opinions, and then you can see mine. And so I think that's an important component here. And then you're going to have assignment papers. Make sure, you've already had a class, make sure that you use proper APA. Make sure that you use the CSU online library. All those things that you were taught in your initial class, you need to make sure that you employ here. So papers, I have high expectations on these from a format and flow perspective, that they follow those. And you won't have as much grace in in this class and future classes as you did in your first class, all right? And then this course has a test, and there are, I think, 25 questions in there. They're multiple choice based upon the reading materials in the book. Now, the reason that I developed a test for these is what I mentioned earlier. It's my way, honestly, of forcing students to read the textbook, right? Because too often, I think, unless there are other things that are there, you can glance over the textbook. The textbook, as I said earlier, and I'm going to beat a dead horse here, is incredibly important to fully understand the concepts of critical thinking. Now, I just want to go over the things that I value. I value on-time submissions. So again, on-time submissions are important to your boss, right? So if he says or she says, things are due Friday, I need your proposal for this thing by Friday, chances are if you don't get it in by Friday, it's not going to get approved, right? And so timeliness is important. Details versus generalities. Don't talk in generalities. Critical thinking, problem solving requires that you use specifics. I already mentioned APA. This is not your first class, so make sure that you're focused on APA, on the CSU online library as your primary source for supported and peer-reviewed sources. You know, I'm a fast grader. I will get things back to you quickly, so make sure that you check on Mondays, Tuesdays. Everything will be in, probably finished grading by Wednesday. And then if you have any questions about something you don't understand, make sure that you contact me with that, all right? Excited to have you in this course. I hope that by the end of 7 weeks, you're going to look at this and go, okay, I am a much better thinker. I will think on my own. I will no longer forward a Facebook post without looking at it and trying to prove whether it's true or not. I will be very skeptical about things, but I will not be cynical. But I will look at things much differently as I go forward. All right. Look forward to the next 7 weeks and chat with you soon. Take care.